Hi, everyone. My name is Kyla. I am the digital marketing manager here at Hello7. Super excited to see you all and really get into the conversation today. Just a reminder, this is a two-way conversation. So I'll be in the chat. Our creative director, Mariangelica, will be in the chat. So really engage with us and really, just drop any questions that you might have there. To get us started, I'd love to know where everyone's dialing in from or, just joining us from. So if you want to just drop into the chat where you're actually joining us from, and we can get started. All right. And while that's happening, I really want to talk about why are we here today? And the reason that we're all deciding to come to join a live call on YouTube at 1 p.m. on a Tuesday and really just hear from the amazing voices that'll be here. So today we're going to hear from some incredible people who have achieved meaningful wins in their business. And most importantly, to understand how those wins actually happen. I know all of us are looking to scale up our businesses, and what better way to do that than to hear from the pros that have actually done it before. So just drop into the chat. I see we have Michigan here. We have San Diego here, Virginia, Brooklyn. So excited to see all the amazing places that you guys are joining us from. Really excited to hop right in. And like I said, as questions come in, please feel free to drop them into the chat. This is supposed to be interactive, real, helpful, and really be able to make sure that we can, feed off of your energy as well. Oh, we have New Jersey. Oh, I'm a New Jersey girl too. We have Arkansas, Memphis, on the train. Okay. Super excited to see everybody. Amazing. So later in the call, we'll be hearing directly from our amazing Hello7 clients who are actually backstage right now, getting ready to figure out what they're going to be talking to you about today. And these are people who have done the work and have actually seen real results. So we'll be able to hear what their results are, hear more about their journeys, and really just dive right into that. All right. I see we have New Jersey, we have Tampa, New Jersey Shore, a lot of New Jersey folks here. All right, amazing. Oh, this is amazing. All right. Also, just wanting to understand, we'll be having our creative director, Mariangelica Ferrero, joining the call. She'll really be leaning into her journey as she's been a Hello7 client as well, and really just talking us through these amazing ones that we'll be hearing from also. Do we have anybody else? Who else? Where else are you guys dialing in from? Oh, we have Atlanta. Okay. Super exciting. Perfect. And if you're just joining, feel free to drop any questions that you have into the chat. We'll be engaging there. Our creative director will be engaging there as well. We have Houston. Okay. We have some amazing places happening here. Oklahoma City. Amazing. All right. So just to get us started, I'd love to just introduce our creative director, Mariangelica Ferrero. She has been a long-term client here at Hello7 before actually joining the team. And we'll be able to hear her journey and her wins as well. So excited to kick it off to you, Mariangelica.
Thank you so much, Kyla. Oh my gosh, I am so excited to be here. All of you that are showing up, listen, just so you know, I thrive on comments, okay? So if you're not talking to me in the chat, I think you're asleep. So I better see you in the chat. Drop me emojis, drop me what you're feeling, all right? Because really what we're here for is celebration, okay? We're celebrating some people that have done some incredible wins, and I can't wait for you to see yourself reflected in the stories you're gonna hear today and in the things that they've been able to do in such a short amount of time when you really think about it, right? Because we're about to enter a new year. We're about to enter 2026. And how often are we just like, yeah, it'll be better next year, right? I'll do it next year. And some of these people have done these wins in this year, right? Just in 2025. So this is an example of what can happen for you also next year. But I want to share something with you. Like at some point in my life, right? Not too long ago, may I say, right? I had like 2 babies under 3. I now have 3 children. But at some point in this story, I had 2 kids. I had a job that was completely draining the life out of me. Okay. It was a career that I loved at one point, but then I grew out of it. And I don't know how many of you feel sometimes like you've been doing the thing for a while and all of a sudden you're like, I'm not that person anymore. Like that's actually not me anymore. And you feel like you're like, but I worked so hard to get here. And now I don't feel like that's the thing for me anymore. But still, I don't know, tell me in the chat if that's you. But still, it's like I still showed up every day, right? And I was creating this business. I've always loved the idea of having a business and having money that you make on the side. And I had just scraped this business, right, to get to a place where I was making $40,000 a year. And I thought I was a big baller boss, okay? Not because the money was so big, but because sometimes it's just so incredible how you can go from not having a business to creating something that's making some revenue. All right. Because the idea is already, just that already proves a model, right? So tell me in the chat, I want to know based on you that are all of you that are watching, there's probably in total about 100 of you currently on this call. So I want to know because there's like 52 here and 13 here. And I see Instagram over on this side as well. And so I want to know how many of you actually have a business right now, because I want to know who I'm talking to. Am I talking to entrepreneurs? Am I talking to people that are curious about entrepreneurship? I want to know. So tell me in the chat. But I just remember having this like toddler on my hip, right? I'm like trying to like breastfeed this other baby on this side. I'm like watching an online training because who isn't just watching an online training when you're breastfeeding? And you're just like, I'm trying to do all the things. And I had these really, really big dreams, right? Like bigger than anyone I knew, bigger than even I could probably comprehend at the time. But I had a big dream, right? And I had no idea how the hell I was supposed to fit it into any more of my day. Like my day was already so packed and it literally just already took everything from me. Like, I don't know if that's you. Please tell me in the chat if I'm not alone here where you're just like, I only have X amount of hours. Like, how do I fit in all the other things that I want to bring into my life, right? Like I was scared. I'm like, this is it. Like this, I don't know how to fit more in, right? Like if I want to make more revenue, I need to put more time in, I need to put more effort in, and I don't have more to give. And I just felt like I was going to be stuck in this loop of working nonstop and just my results never matching like where my dreams were and where I wanted to go with it. So tell me in the chat if you feel like you've been on that wheel, because I know for a fact, like that's where I felt like I was just going to live on forever if something didn't change. And maybe, you're like, I don't know, you felt it at that time, right? Like I'm seeing some people in the chat here saying, yes, 100% mom of 3 as well. Listen, I see you. Okay. Yes. Becoming a mom, fitting it in is all hard. And it might not that you're a parent. Maybe you're caring for someone else, or maybe you just have a really, really full life already. And you're like, how do I fit in this thing that I really want to make happen? Okay. And maybe right now you're like, I'm trying all the things. I'm still giving it my all. It's not like you're not showing up for yourself, but you're stuck, right? Like you're still hovering around that same damn number. And you're just like, the number is not shifting. This plateau is hitting me hard, right? And like, why is it still so hard? Like, is something wrong with me? And am I just not cut out for this? Is it just the market is saturated, as we all like to tell ourselves to make ourselves feel better, right? Like, listen, that's just the truth, okay? And I want to tell you something that I had to learn the hard way, which is that it's not you and it's not definitely your ambition. Because if you're here already, you're making time for something that you want to grow into. It's definitely the way that everything in the world and everything in the system has taught us to like overperform, to settle for less, right? Like to do the most, to accept the bare minimum, right? Like, but that has to end at some point because that is not sustainable. So what's wild is that it's not that I wasn't trying, right? Like I was saying, it's not that I was like, oh, I'll just like throw some spaghetti at the wall. I decided that, I'm like, you know what? At this point, I don't really know what to do. I've already been investing in myself. Who here has already invested in themselves, right? It's like, oh, I bought this course and I got this freebie and I got the bundle that brings the template and this, and I'm going to do that and that's going to work. Like, I don't know if you're here like me collecting, right? Like ways of learning and how to grow your business all throughout the freaking interwebs. And nothing is like getting to where you want it to go to, right? Like, this is the issue that we all feel some of the time when we're starting our businesses or working on it, is we don't really have the clarity of where we want to go with it. And we're just collecting resources left and right. We're dropping the word in the chat so we can get the thing in our DM, and our downloads folder is getting full of stuff, but our bank account isn't. Okay. So I really was that person that took action, but I realized I didn't really believe that I could actually have a business that's going to make something dramatic happen. Okay. And I don't know if you've been in that boat of like having a business and it's just bringing in the bare minimum, or it's bringing in enough that you're just like, oh, but I got to work more and I don't know how to make it make more. And that ease, like that peace, like that CEO life that I heard so much about felt completely out of reach. And it really wasn't until I personally read We Should All Be Millionaires. I read the book from Rachel Rodgers. And when I read it, I was like, oh, this is another person who also had a very full life, had a ton of children, right? And also found a way to leave a job that they also didn't really love, right? In being a lawyer as Rachel was, and created a whole law practice around it and turned her life around and became this incredible business coach that we all now know and love, and created this incredible movement and this incredible company called Hello 7. But at the time that I was reading the book, I'm not over here like, I'm going to go make Hello 7. You know what I mean? Like I was over here just trying to be like, how do I just maximize my time? How do I make more money? Right? Like, how do I make it happen? And I didn't have that belief for myself. I actually didn't really think it was going to work. I was like, this is just going to be another thing, right? It's another thing I'm collecting. And it's another form of another resource that I'm trying to like, fit in and try to make it be the thing. So I went and I was like, you know what is the worst thing that could happen? The worst thing that could happen is it just becomes another course that I never do, or another thing that I never take action on. But I decided to join Hello 7 and I joined the program. And in the first year, all I told myself was like, just do the thing, right? Like just take the action, follow the plan. It's being presented to you. Like, what is the worst that can happen by just trying it out? And I tried it out. And in that first year, I closed out the year at almost $240,000. $240,000. It's not $1 million, but it felt like a friggin' $1 million to me. Okay. Because when you've been stuck at a plateau for a while and you finally unlock the system that's like, oh, this is how it works. At this point now, I'm having 3 children, right? Like I'm making more money and I'm more present like in their lives. It was a wild, wild, wild game that I didn't expect at all could be the reality for me. So I really tried to just stop muscling my way like through it and just be like, I'll figure it out. I'll just find it on my own, right? And I don't know if it's the Aquarius or the, first daughter or the immigrant, like whatever it was. And I'm just like, I have to do it on my own and I have to make it happen. And I'm going to do it like by myself. And I'm going to be feeling really proud about it. That I just never asked for help. And me coming into this community allowed me a space where I could ask for help. And that year completely changed the game for me and what was possible in my business. Okay. So I want to know really from your perspective, if that's where you've been feeling, you're like, I've been feeling in this plateau and I need something that's going to just break the mold and actually give me the resources that's going to help me grow. Okay. Because really, when we think about it, I had a lot of reasons. And I think all of us have a lot of reasons where the system tells us to play it safe, right? Like to be grateful for what you have. Like even when you know that you're meant for more, even when you know that you deserve more, it's like, but I'm grateful. I have a beautiful home. I have healthy children. I have this, I have that, whatever it is you want to tell yourself as to why you shouldn't be going all in for it, right? Like there is so much media. There is so much oppression right now that is happening, especially when I would never go to an event and see anyone that looked like me at anything that I would ever attend, right? It's like the business conference, the networking event, and it's all nobody looks like me, or it's like the one token person up on stage, right? And so we have to, at this point, really understand that the system was never actually built for us to win. So we have to create a new system, one that we own and one that we know that we are making the rules of, right? And I think it's just one of those things that I spent some time in a shelter. I grew up with very, very little money. And I remember feeling like, I know all of my friends feel this sense of like safety in their full-time job that I never felt. I was like, how do I feel safe with somebody else controlling my revenue and like my livelihood? I only feel safe as an entrepreneur. I feel safe if I have the reins to control what I'm here to put out, right? Like what I'm able to bring into this life and into this family. And I think that reframe for me changed everything when I realized like the safest thing I could do actually was go all in on my business, even though for some people it could be the riskiest thing you do. And so, I mean, at this point, all of it has changed, right? Like my business flourished. I was able to speak on stages internationally. I was able to create my own events and run my own businesses. And what I think is incredible to really come to terms with is that that's not what it was like at the beginning. At the beginning, it was hustle, literally burning myself out multiple times. Who here has had burnout? Please tell me in the chat if I'm not the only one that has experience like true burnout, not when you're like getting close to it, but you're just like, I'm wiped. Like there's nothing left in me to give, right? Like I don't know where to pull it from at this point. And you're like, I still got to show up, right? Bills don't stop coming, but somehow you have to continue to create in this like zombie mode of burnout. Okay. So if you've had burnout, please let me know because you are not alone. Okay. And I heard this quote like from Brene Brown, and it said, it takes courage to say yes to rest and play in a culture like where exhaustion is like a symbol. And I was like, 100%, like 100%. That is the courageous thing to do, right? Is to take a break. The courageous thing to do is to take a nap. The courageous thing to do is to pause for a moment, right? That is where the courage comes from. And then there was another quote that I heard from Michelle Obama, who was like, you have to fill your own cup first. Like you can't pour from an empty cup. You have to put yourself on your to-do list, right? And it was all this theme, right, that I just kept hearing of rest. And what I like to say is, now that I've experienced burnout many times, is you don't have to burn to be bright, right? Like you don't have to. And the idea that we've been conditioned to believe that we must, and that is the only way, is absolutely bananas. And we need to go all against that. You don't have to burn to be bright. You can be bright in your income, bright in the money that's like, being poured out into your community. You can be bright in the experiences that you experience with your family, with your friends, in your entire life. You can be bright in the experiences you share with your clients, but you don't have to burn. You don't have to even get close to it, right? You don't have to burn it at both ends. You don't have to feel burnout, and that's not the way that it works. If you have a proper system to follow, and if you have guidance that you can trust and believe has proven results in the past, all right? So I'm here to show you some people that have gotten access to that same strategy, who have also come into Hello 7 and had their own unique wins. And before I bring them up, I want to tell you all that currently this mastermind opportunity, the mastermind of Hello 7, where we come together to make this type of transformation happen, is going up in price. And I'm not here to give you the whole spiel. I'm just here to tell you that if you are curious, if something I've said has resonated and you're like, you know what, this might be actually what I need, I want you to apply. So you have to fill out an application because there's only so many spots for our sales coaches to be able to have a conversation with you. And our Hello 7 coaches are here to support you, by the way. They're here to really understand where you are in business and actually find out if this is an opportunity that would work both ways. Because at the end of the day, you heard me. I didn't come into the opportunity being like, where's my million, right? I got to work and I just followed the plan. So if you're ready to do that, if you're ready to take action and commit into, 2026 is the year I finally stop breaking this ridiculous plateau, I need you to apply. So the team is going to drop the link in the chat that you have to fill out to apply. If we could also have Kyla put up the QR code on screen, we can leave that up for just a while you take a moment to apply and just fill out the application. If you're a good fit, you'll hear from one of our coaches and you'll have an opportunity to book a call. There are only so many spots because the price goes up on Monday next week. And so we want to make sure that during this week, if you have time, you book in a call with one of our coaches to find out a little bit more about this opportunity. All right. So with nothing else to say on that, I want to bring up our incredible panelists, and we're going to be hearing about their stories, how they got to where they are, and really what they're most excited to bring out. So let's bring up Jennifer Garcia, Leanne, Robin, Heidi, Jory up to the stage, please. Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing? Everyone looks so good. Hello. Okay, so for everyone who's here who doesn't know who you are, I would love to ask you to introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself so that they know kind of who they're listening from as they hear you talk. So Jennifer, could you kick it off?
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Jennifer Garcia, and I am the founder of Dream Creative & Co., where I coach BIPOC and queer CEOs on how to break up with their burnout and sort their systems for success and sustainability.
Did you hear that? Break up with your burnout? I'm obsessed. Like we didn't even plan that and it worked out. Okay. All right. Leanne, go ahead and introduce yourself, please.
Hi, everyone. I'm Leanne Bordage. I'm from Saskatoon, Canada, and I have a construction company. We paint houses in residential homes and commercial spaces for contractors.
Beautiful. Thank you. Fellow Canadian in the house. Obsessed. Okay. Welcome, Jory, to the stage. Come and let us know who you are and what you do.
Awesome. Thanks so much for having me. My name is Jory O'Neill. I am a TEDx presenter, international bestselling author, and a publishing authority partner, and I help leaders and executives And mission-driven entrepreneurs turn their lived experiences into transformative books that elevate their authority and expand their influence.
Obsessed. Listen, it's like they've been learning in this mastermind. All right. We know exactly what they're doing. All right. Hello, Heidi. Welcome to the stage.
Hi, my name is Heidi McClellan. I'm the founder of Click Virtual Support, and our agency provides virtual assistance to burnt out, overworked nonprofit leaders.
Obsessed. Very specific. Nonprofit leaders, you know who to go to. All right, Robin in the house. Let us know who you are.
Hi, everyone. My name is Robin Roots. I'm from Richmond, Virginia. I am the founder of the Student Loan Nurse. I work with anyone that has student loans. I help them with getting loan forgiveness, managing their payments, and also any type of consolidation. And it's a holistic approach to help you with your physical, mental, and financial struggles with student loans.
Awesome. Alrighty, everyone. So we've had the intro. So just so everyone knows, if you're watching now or you're just joining in, everyone that you see on screen right now has been a part of the Hello 7 Mastermind for a period of time. And at some point made the decision to come into this program, right? So they came in, they were like, you know, I'm making this decision officially to come in. And they've been here a little while and they've had some wins happening within our program. And so I would love for you all, if you could, to remember what it was like before you joined, right? So I want you to paint me the picture of what you looked like. What was your emotional state? What did your life look like before you joined us? I see some smiles in the room because everyone's like, do you want me to think about that? Are you sure? But I do, right? Because this is how we understand and we can really, really visualize the growth that you've been through. And sometimes just saying it out loud is so powerful because you're no longer talking about where you currently are. So tell us a little bit about where you were before you joined the mastermind. And we'll go in the same order. So Jennifer, go ahead and take it away.
Yeah, so when I first, before I joined the mastermind, I had been working a 9-to-5 that I was absolutely just feeling completely burnt out in. I had previously owned 2 other businesses about 7 years ago, and those flopped because of burnout. I was kind of doing this one-woman show, piece it all together business that didn't really feel like something sustainable. So when I got the inkling to start this business, I started it in September of last year, and I had 1 client, and it was through word of mouth. And I got a bunch of other free clients, you know, when you're doing that free labor to just, you know, make a name for yourself. And I just started to feel that same sense of burnout. And so I thought, well, maybe I should just dissolve the business. I don't even know what I'm doing. It's been 7 years. And those businesses, I think the max revenue I had gotten for those businesses was probably like something like 40K in the past. And so I felt very like discouraged at even trying again. But then January came again. I was like, maybe I'll just try something new with my social media or do this. You know, as business owners, we tend to just, again, piece it together and try to figure it out. But I really felt lost, to be honest with you. I felt lost. I felt confused. I felt like I wasn't going to have what it takes to run another business. And then I read Rachel Rodgers' book, We Should All Be Millionaires. And I think emotionally for me, what really captivated me from the book, or even just learning that this community existed, was that piece of like, I have never seen somebody like me be a millionaire. I would be the first in my family to try to do this, and me being a millionaire would benefit so many people in my family, in my community. And I just really wanted that. I knew that the 9-to-5 life was not for me because I was still working my 9-to-5, and emotionally, you know, and for my mental health, I had to step away from my job because it was getting very intense. And I decided to take the leap after doing a money makeover challenge with the team, with the Hello 7 team. And I said, you know what, I'm going to just implement what I'm learning here and I'll just see what happens. So it was 5 days of like this intensive workshop of like just getting out there and, you know, making money moves. And within those 5 days, I actually had an appointment to set up with a client for a $10,000 contract. Wow. And by May, they had signed that contract and they had worked with me and included like $5,000 worth of like marketing sponsorship through their business and like the events they were doing. So I immediately was like, I don't know what just happened, but I want more of this. And I really want to be a part of a community that's going to lift me up, cheer me on. I don't want to do entrepreneurship in isolation anymore. I don't want to bore my partner with all of my stories about the wins and the failures. I really want to build something that lasts. And so I decided to join the Mastermind. And that's kind of where I was before. I'm not sure if you'll ask later on, like where we are now, but
we're going to leave everyone in suspense.
Yeah, I'll leave you in suspense.
What happens next? Let's find out after the break. So thank you for sharing, and how real, right? To be like, yeah, like this is just where I'm at. I don't even know. And then you take the action. I think that's the other thing to highlight here. You took action, right? Like it's not like you went to a challenge and expected money to drop on your lap. You took action on what you learned. And I think that's what we've seen you do as well inside of our Mastermind. So I'm excited to hear more about where you are now. Leanne, tell us, where were you before you joined the Mastermind?
Okay. I had run businesses in the past, and I had dramatically failed with a few of them. And so I knew that when I was looking at the Mastermind in my current business, the painting business, I had been running it for about 3 years. And I was kind of at that point again where I was like, okay, I've done this before, and I'm either on the verge of failure or on the verge of something brilliant, but I need to know what to do next. And I had kind of been looking around for like, do I need a business course? Do I need to like follow somebody in my city? And I had really been looking for this like guidance that would just tell me like methodically, step 1, step 2, step 3, do this, and you will become a millionaire. And I was like, when I heard that in Rachel Rogers' Make Money Moves challenge, I was like all in. I didn't know how I was going to make the payments at first. I was scared, right? I had this fear pop up, but I knew that if I don't do anything, I'm going to have this juggling act. Like I had 10 employees, and I was scheduling, and I was doing everything myself. 10 employees. I was going out and getting the jobs. I was doing all the invoicing. I was doing all of the customer service, ordering paint. I was still painting houses. I was doing everything. And I thought like, oh my gosh, if I don't know what to do next, I need to find somebody to tell me what to do next. And I'll just do exactly what they tell me. So I joined the Mastermind 10 months ago, and it has been a game changer for me. I have implemented help in my business and hired different positions. That's like, oh my gosh, I work from home now. It's so bizarre. So it has been a game changer. I could rant and rave for hours.
I'm obsessed because I think that's just so real. Like you're like, I was still wearing all the hats. I had it. It's not like you didn't have a team. It's just like you had it, and yet, right? Like fully stepping into that like leader space of, actually, I'm the CEO of this company. I need to sit here and be able to have more time for this and allow and release, right? Some of the things that you're doing. Like how easy is it to still want to control everything and do and be in all the places? And once you actually step out and you give yourself that time back, how incredible is it that you can still actually make more revenue? Like what a wild concept.
Yes, what a wild concept. Like I won't get into my numbers yet because we're going to save that. But, like, it is mind blowing, honestly.
I'm obsessed. I'm so excited. Y'all, edge of your seats, okay? All right, Jory, up next. Tell us, where were you before you joined the Mastermind?
I actually didn't hate my job before I joined the Mastermind. I enjoyed it. I had a business that my husband and I were growing, and about 2 years ago, I started writing and publishing. And when I started speaking, people kept asking me like, hey, how do you write a book? How do you publish a book? My landscapers decided to turn on as soon as I unmuted. It was great. And so in the process of them asking me, I was like, all right, what if I just started teaching women specifically how to share their story? How do you write from your heart? How do you authentically share who you are? And the people that I was working with, they were not traditional writers. They were not the type to sit down and to say, okay, I'm going to bury 3 hours into this book writing, or I'm going to, spend this whole weekend on this manuscript. They were writers who loved to speak more than they actually did write. And so I started this process where I now do audio voice transcription writing. So I have helped over the last year already 15 women share their story, become published authors. And before joining the mastermind, none of that was even like an idea or on the table, because I was still trying to, as Leanne just shared, do all the things. I was trying to help them write, figure out their voice notes, how to outline the book, how do we market it, how do we do all the things, and nothing was growing. So I had a good business and I liked my 9 to 5 job, but similar to, again, Jennifer, after reading We Should All Be Millionaires, I was like, you know what, we should and we are. And so I gave my job 1 month's notice literally after reading her book.
Wow.
And I went all in on helping women write. And so since then, I've been able to grow my revenue. I came in the mastermind at the first level. I'm at a different level now. We're going to talk about that later. But the systems in the community, there's nothing like it. Like, in all sincerity, I have direction now. I know what to do first, second, third, right? I am a person who loves order. And so now I have a strategy, I have a plan, but I also have folks who will lift me up, right? And when I'm not going the right direction, they will tell me the truth and point me in the correct direction. And so, systems and community, I have that now since joining the mastermind, and it's made all the difference in my business.
Thank you so much for sharing. And listen, that courage though of reading a book and then just being like, I'm all in, right? Like the power of a book, the power of a good message, right? The power of really being able to translate that belief. And I think we all say that sometimes here at Hello 7, we're like, just borrow our belief, right? Like borrow our belief for a moment, because it is possible for you. Just like sometimes we had to borrow Rachel's belief when we read the book, right? Or you borrow your coach's belief when you're on a coaching call with them inside of the mastermind. You're like, I don't know, but I'm gonna use some of what you got and I'm gonna use some of that belief and I'm gonna pour it into what I'm doing. So thank you for sharing. We're gonna talk a little bit about where you are now and your financial wins in just a moment. All right, Heidi, tell us a little bit about where were you before you chose to join the mastermind?
Before I chose the mastermind, I felt like I was at a crossroads. I'd been running my business, doing everything myself, like everybody else has said. And I realized that I either could stay where I was, or I could kind of lean in and, really dive into this business and make it something. I always say I want to retire my husband. So I just wanted to do that. But I felt like I needed a coach or someone to give me some structure, guide me through this. I looked at other coaches and I was like, I'm not giving them $5,000. That's crazy. I was just like, because none of them resonated with me. So I decided to join the mastermind. I took a deep breath, but I really wanted to join the mastermind. I really wanted to give my money into this. And now I feel like it's the best investment. I'm signing up again, for the next year. And I feel great. I feel like I've got community. I've got my squad. I've got all these things to help support me and uplift me in my business.
I love that. Thank you for sharing. And I think it's just, I'm loving the difference in everyone had similar feelings at one point or another, but the entryway to those feelings is so different already, just from what y'all have shared, which I think is a beautiful example. So if you're listening in right now, you're one of these 100 people that are listening and you're over here quiet, remember, are you sleeping? Tell me in the chat, okay? What is resonating with you? Are you feeling similar to Jennifer, Leanne, Jory, Heidi? Like, what is resonating for you right now? Do you see yourself presented here on this stage right now? I would love to know, because the closer we get to like where people are at right now, the closer you are to being able to see an example of somebody else winning, right? Just like Jennifer said earlier about how like I had never seen someone like myself, right, be a millionaire in this way. And it just presented an opportunity that like, oh, it is possible. Okay. And so let's move over to Robin. Thank you, Heidi, for sharing. Robin, tell us, where were you before you joined the mastermind? I think you're on mute, Robin. Let me make sure. There we go. I think you're unmuted now.
Okay. My story is a little different. I was like this tree, and Rachel talked about it at one of the retreats. you can have so many talents that you're like all over the board. You're not sure which one to pursue.
Yeah.
And my background is a nurse by trade, a filmmaker, and then I got into the stock market. So when I came into the mastermind, it was like, which way do you go? And I would go to the different, I went to one of the retreats, and I was just sitting there watching all these brilliant women. They seemed to know where they were going, and they were hyped. And I was still like, this isn't it for me. And I knew it was more. And I had been thinking about transitioning to the student loan business because I'm a nurse, and then I've seen so much debt in my community and in my profession. And I just remember Rachel, she got on stage and she kept moving, saying, don't be this damn tree. You're over here now. Then you're over here, and then you're over here. And so finally, I just made a decision. I was going all in, and I really went to work, got certified as a student loan nurse, and just really position my business like nursing for me, helping the whole person. And it was hard because people knew me as a nurse or a filmmaker. But when I say student loan nurse, people say, oh my God, there she go again. What is she doing? This and that. And so I was like, for me, it married all together very well. And the community and Hello 7 was important in that transition because you got all your friends and family, they just see you one dimensional. And I had to really fight through that, not having that support around me all the time, but it's virtual. And so I'm grateful for Hello 7 because that 7 just stuck in my head and I would not quit. I said, I know I'm destined to be a millionaire. I retired 3 years ago as a millionaire. However, that's not your last. When there's still more to do. And I kept saying, I know with these businesses, they've got to break. And so Rachel Rogers was my last coach because I've had at least 3 business coaches, and they would get me to this place, this plateau, and then they couldn't give me any more advice. And I was like, where do I go from here? So being in this community, I don't care what kind of business you're going into, she can speak on it. She can speak on strategy, the framework, and the coaches have been just so instrumental holistically because just because you're an entrepreneur don't mean you're not going to still have life in you, whether it's your kids, your parents, finances, husbands not supporting you. And so if it wasn't for this program, I probably would have quit. So I'm grateful because there are days when you just turn on your modules and you listen and you get inspired because when you've been doing this so long, people, they don't see the back end. They don't see you in the office all day. They don't see you on the phone. They don't see the rejection letters. They don't see the people giving up on you. And so for me to be at this stage in my business, I started almost a year ago, and 6 months in, I finally got my direction. And so from that 6 months to now, I've moved from level 1 to 3. I'm headed to 4 because I know the framework that it takes to get to 7 now. And I just think it's important to be in a community that really understand your good days and your bad days, because if you listen to family and friends, I'm telling you, you will quit. You will lose your investments because you'll give up on yourself. So I feel like I'm a new person now in all areas because the framework that I learned from Rachel, I use it on my closer production business. I use it on my nursing business and now on my student loan business. And all 3 of them are making income now simultaneously while I'm focused on this because I went back and reprogrammed those businesses. They were making money, but not steady. And y'all know we need steady money. So I'm just grateful. So sorry
Thank you,
for that.
Robin. No, of course. Emotions are welcome. I don't know if you know my title, but they don't call me the tear collector for nothing. Okay.
Yeah.
So Robin, thank you so much for sharing and being so vulnerable and opening up this conversation. So I think because you've already started to share like where you were and where you are now financially, we'll kick it off from there. So you already shared where and how you grew, but for the people that don't know what H levels means, what does that look like dollar-wise? Where were you dollar-wise before joining the mastermind, and where are you now?
Well, I was making sporadic money, so I never really counted it because I mean, you know, you gotta have
a little
steady
here,
flow.
a little there.
Yeah, and it's all, you know, contingent on what other people feel. You know, a season, if it's busy, if it's, you know. So now being in this program, I can predict what I will make based on how many people I connect with. My social media is not my main source. It's getting out, going to conferences, going to meet and greets. I'm involved in multiple business associations here in Virginia. I've been SWAM certified. That puts me on a level where my business is showcased. And if they need me, they're going to call me. And that's the one thing I can say. People have been calling me. I've done 5 interviews. I got 2 this week in reference to the student loan nurse, and 2.8 million in student loan forgiveness in just less than 6 months. And just being able to help people to get a grip on their finances. And so for me, probably around 12K a month. And I can't even say I'm working hard yet. I'm still strategizing so that I can have those days, like Rachel said. You got to have time to sit back and be able to think and be creative. And so it's snowing in Virginia. So today I went out and walked about a mile just to clear my head, because you can't grow if your mind is just so cluttered. And so it's,
and I hope everyone caught that. It was like, you know, I'm making 12K. I can't even say I'm working hard right now, right? Like the concept of that for some people, when you hear it back, right, is so absolutely bananas, right? Like that doesn't compute sometimes, right? And so thank you for sharing a perspective of like this. Actually, there can be ease in this. I can go and take a walk in the snow, right, while my business is making money, and I'm still strategizing on how to make it grow from there. So thank you so much for sharing. I'm going to move over to Jennifer, because you left us hanging. Where are you now? What are things looking like, right? Like, we want to know all the deets. So please tell us, where are you now? How are you feeling now? And then give us those numbers of where you were before and where you are now financially.
Yeah, so as I told you guys, I started last year with the 1 gig at $1,300, something like that. And I'm projected to end the year at $67,000, which is a 49% return on investment, like 49% growth, or sorry, 49 times growth. And yeah, I can tell you that my other businesses, I was doing those for 10 years and I only made it to like 40,000. This has been going on. I like joined the mastermind in April and it's December, and that's what my bank account is looking like. So I think there were definitely plateaus, right? There were definitely moments where I was like, okay, like, what am I going to do to like get the next client? How am I going to strategize? But the beauty of having coaches available, like whenever you need them, has been a game changer for me. It's been life-saving, because there'll be times where I'm like, I don't know what I need to do next, or I'm trying this, or I've done this, you know, and like, it's like you have a thought partner with you alongside of you who's coaching you, cheering you on as you do your business. And honestly, I feel like if it wasn't for the team of coaches, like I wouldn't have made it to that. And I was able to quit my 9 to 5. Like, I have a family, I support my partner and my son. And so like I was able to, you know, quit my 9 to 5 and do this full time. And now it just feels like the sky's the limit.
Yes. And I love what you just shared, because I do think that there's something really unique about knowing that you've been trying this thing on your own for a while, right? It's like, you're like, I'm an entrepreneur. I have a business for 10 years. Like, I've been doing the thing, right? But again, the plateau is the plateau, right? It's like, it's just when you hit it, you can't grow. You can't do what you don't know. You can't grow to where you don't know, right? And it's like, who do I follow at that point? And to, you know, Heidi's point about speaking about, you know, and even Robin's point too, right? Like, you get to a place where you're following someone in their footsteps and they're teaching you, and they can teach you up until where they've been. And that the idea with Rachel and the way that the mastermind is structured is that no matter what level you're at, there is curriculum for that level. And so everybody here, right, is in a completely different financial level, and yet everyone can succeed in the same program. That is usually not how it's done. It's usually like, this is for this group only, and this is for growing you to this level, right? And this is what we'll get you to do, or we'll get you really good at memberships, or we'll get you really good at making courses, or we'll get you really good at this one thing. But it's not really about the holistic business structure. So the fact that you already know and can predict your income for the year, having only started in April, is already like, I can't even wait to see where you're going to be next year. At this point, 49% return, like, you know, come on, like, right. Give me more of that, because that versus the amount of, you know, money that you've made this year is going to be a much larger number. So I'm excited for you to continue to dive in and see all your growth. Thank you so much for sharing so openly. Let's move over to Leanne. Tell us where you were financially before and where you are now, and how you're feeling now about the trajectory of your business.
Thank you. I started with Hello7 10 months ago. I started in March, and my business was at about 500,000 a year. I was kind of between 500 and 600,000. And $1 million was like, it was written everywhere in my house. And for years and years and years, like I was so bound and determined to make $1 million that it felt out of reach because I wanted it so bad. And I'm so happy to say in October, when we were at the retreat in Brooklyn, my company broke $1 million, and now we're at 1.2 for the end of the year. So it's like, yes, my business doubled in 10 months, doubled. And I am just, I'm actually writing a book about it with Jory on the call.
Wow.
It's next is going to be phenomenal because there's so much good stuff coming.
Wow.
Exciting.
Listen, we went for 49% return and, you know, multiplied your income to doubling our income, right? When you already have a very high income. Like, this is, you can't even make this stuff up. Like, this is, I'm already floored. Like, I saw you walk the stage when we celebrated you at the retreat, and we were like, let's celebrate our new Hello7s, right? Because Hello7 is that milestone everyone's like, you know, aiming for at one point or another. And then comes the fact, well, what we talk about, right, was when you get to that number, right, when you get to that milestone that you, like you said, you've like, I've been wanting it for so long, and now you're here and you're like, wait, right, because the growth has been so dramatic and so quickly that you have to kind of move on. The systems have to kind of evolve, right? You got to really find a system for the way to bring in and allow yourself to receive that revenue. And you have to. The fact you're going to close at 1.2 is absolutely banana cakes. Okay. So
exciting.
How does it even feel to say that out loud?
It's surreal. It's surreal. I have strived for that goal for so long. And like I said before, like I had other businesses that totally failed, and I was just kind of winging it because I didn't have anybody around me to relate to. And I didn't really trust anybody else's advice because I didn't have anybody that I was like, I need to follow them, until Rachel Rogers came along. And the Mastermind has given me every single step-by-step, every single answer to every single question, from just starting to millions of dollars. It's a no-brainer for me, honestly.
Wow. This is so inspiring. I hope, and I love the contrast, because we didn't pair how everybody was going to be here, but like the fact that Robin just started like really making Jennifer just started in April, right? And April was like the year, and then you're growing from there, and you're already going to close at 66K. Like, you know, you're literally going to hit 100K before the first quarter of the year is done next year. And then we have someone else who's joining us at a higher revenue point, right? And you'd feel like, okay, like there's going to be incremental growth from there, right? Like 500, maybe 600, maybe 700. But to see these dramatic shifts, it has to mean that something is working. And I agree with both of you that the immediacy of the access of information and support, I think, is the magic of the Mastermind, because we could literally Google anything these days. We could ChatGPT anything these days, right? Like, knowledge is not really the thing as much as it is understanding a proven system, because there is knowledge everywhere. And like I said earlier, you can be in that like collection boat of collecting all the strategies and all the freebies. And when you shut off the noise and you're like, I'm just going to trust this, and I'm going to follow this. And then I'm going to, because if for anyone who's not aware yet, and if you haven't applied, make sure you fill out your application. The link is at the bottom, and there's a QR code. There are unlimited one-on-one calls you can have with a coach, which even when we came up with this concept, I was like, I've never even seen that. As where do you find that opportunity? Like, you can't even hire a coach for unlimited one-on-one support. Like, coaches come with a certain amount of calls that you have, and that's it, you know, like maybe Voxer access, but that's about it. The fact that you could book a one-on-one call every day right? To have and be able to work through, or once a week, or have those consistent check-ins with a coach, to me is one of the biggest things, so that no matter where and how you're growing and where you get stuck, like there is a resource and there is a coach like ready to support you. So I cannot celebrate you enough. I know we all give you a huge standing ovation when you walk the stage at the retreat as well. And I know every single person here is going to get to walk that stage, because that's just the energy you're already bringing to your business. You're already ready for that next level. And it's going to be so beautiful for y'all to see that journey in each other. But huge, huge congratulations, Leanne, on that doubling of your income, because hello, 7. Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Jory, tell us, where were you financially in your business before you joined the mastermind, and where are you now? If you could compile it to, I know you have a couple different revenue streams, but if you could compile it all, where are you sitting right now?
So when I first joined the mastermind, I was working full-time as a teacher, right? And so I was growing the writing and publishing business on the side. So I think the max amount that I hit last year was like 40,000. And that was after trying to do this for 2 years. So after 2 years, it was like 40,000. Yes, I did double digits. Like the year before, I think it was like 12. So I was like, okay. So this year I was like, all right, if I can get to 50, I just want to get to 50. And after joining the mastermind, I'm going to close the year out under $100,000, like right under 100K. So I have officially replaced my full-time income as a teacher in the state of New York, which that was the goal, right? When I initially joined, we put like, what's your stretch goal? I was like, my stretch goal is 100. It's like, what is your okay goal? I was like, it was 75,000. And last month, when I looked at my my data, and I was like, dude, we made 75 already. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, okay, well, I can't take my foot off the gas now. We just got to keep going. So I was like, stretch goal, here we come. And so looking at the numbers, right under like 98,000 for the end of the year.
That is, hello, let's get you the other 2K somehow, okay? Because
let's figure it out. I would love that. That'd be great.
Everyone, Venmo, let's go. Like we need this milestone to be hit this year. I am obsessed with this journey, because so often that is sometimes what we hear from a lot of people coming in is like, if I could just replace my full-time income, right? If I could just feel like I could trust the fact that revenue is going to come in and I don't have to do this thing. And like you shared, it's not everyone that like hates their full-time job. That you don't have to hate your full-time job to want something different, right? And I think that's what you've proven with this method of like, you could be building your thing on the side. It could, yes, be a side hustle, and diving fully in and committing to a system that works is where you're going to see that return. Like the focus multiplies, right? So you've been focused, you've been working on your craft, and it's easy enough to understand what you do that you're like, oh, of course, I know exactly who you got to work with, right? As soon as you hear somebody else. And working on that messaging, I know has come through the work that you've been doing in the mastermind. And now it's just so much clearer that people, like my goal is always like, where can your name be said in rooms that you're not in, right? Like if your name could just easily roll out of somebody's mouth in rooms you're not in, because they're just so aware of what you do and who you do it for, that talking to someone to be like, oh, I know exactly who you got to connect with, right? That I think is the beautiful community that gets built in here, because everybody knows somebody, right? And just like we saw Leanne and Jory working together, like there are opportunities like this all the time in the mastermind. Masterminders hire each other all the time because we're so committed to our craft in this mastermind, right? So thank you so much for sharing. Those are incredible numbers. And the fact that you're going to close at H4 already at 100K, and you're going to only scale that next year, like, hello, walking the stage. Like, this is where exponential things can happen. Because like we said with Leanne, it's not like you're only going to grow by like, 100K or another 150K, which already is banana cakes when you think about the investment amount, right? Like you all paid in like whether $15,000 or $18,000 to join this mastermind. And the returns you've already seen are out of this world, right? And so the fact that you're going to keep building on that, hello, like this is just a whole other life we're talking about. So thank you for sharing. That is so inspiring. And I know someone in the chat needed to hear that today. Okay. Heidi, share with us where were you financially before and where are you now financially in your business?
When I first started, I was at 75K. So it's an H3. And that was where I was kind of stuck. And for my revenue is going to be at 158K, which
Wow.
essentially I've doubled. And let me tell y'all, okay, I'm gonna get vulnerable. I suffer from several autoimmune conditions. A couple of them are pretty severe. I am making twice the money, and I promise y'all, I'm not working anymore. Like, I've delegated stuff, I've got systems, I've got all these things. And so I'm not even working a full 8-hour day, which is good for me because that's about, I can do about 4 or 5 hours of work a day. And so to be able to have that growth and to see like I'm in a position to hire a full-time person so I can delegate even more. So things have gotten easier as I've made more money, which is just like bananas to me. Like, how can that be? But that's how it is. And that's because I set up the systems. I signed up for the coaching. I'm doing all the things basically that y'all tell us to do. And so that's kind of how, that worked out for me. And that's really the transformation of just my stress level has gone down, even though, I can grow more. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Wow. Listen, you've literally spoken out people's dreams right now. Okay. I just want you to know that you are living. I mean, you are all, but in the thing that you just said, it just is such a reminder of what people are always like, that like the concept is so out of this world to think that you could work less, right? Or even not change the amount that you're working to make more.
Right.
And I know like that was my mental trap at the very beginning where I was like, but if I can't pour more time and energy, how could I see the revenue grow? Right. Like the
Right.
concept is foreign because that's not what we've been taught. It's like work hard, you make more money, work harder, you make more money. Right. Like that concept
Right.
is all we understand. So the fact that you have found a way to be able to manage, right, your conditions
Right.
as well in the realm of growing and not added stress that could only increase flare-ups for what all of the conditions you have, like it's only a beautiful way to show that you can do it in your own unique way and still be well, right?
Well, and also like looking at my numbers, I jumped so fast, so quickly that I was like, oh, wait, I'm only like a couple clients away from H5, so I went from H3, I'm in H4, and I'm hoping by like, the middle of next year, I'm being generous with that time that I can be in H5. Like I just want to hop skip over from H3 over to H5. So
yeah, Heidi is over here playing like hop skip, right? Where you're just like, I rolled doubles, I get to go again. So, let's go right on over to the next level, right? And I think the beautiful part of that is that you have a coach beside you to also make sure that, as you are growing so quickly, similar to what was happening with Leanne as well, right? And like immediate growth with many of you is to make sure that, you're still checking off the boxes that's going to keep this revenue sustainable, right? Because I think that's the part that people get stuck on. It's like, oh, you had a really good year, but what does that mean about next year? It's like, girl, you don't even know my back end. Okay. Like all of these different systems are checked off. I got my checklist ready. Like I have everything ready. Like you said, you've built a delegation and systems that's going only to allow this revenue to grow. So proud of you. Thank you for sharing and speaking people's dreams here about working less and making more. Okay. So if you have any questions at all and you're listening in, please drop them in the chat. I'll make sure that I get some time at the end for myself to go in and answer those questions for you. But we're going to wrap with our last question, which is really, and I want this to be kept brief into like, what is one sentence you would share to someone who's on the fence right now about joining the mastermind? Some of the people on this call have heard us talk about it. They've seen our videos. They've seen you all, they've seen the wins and the testimonials, and they've seen the sales page, and they've seen this. They might have had a conversation, right? Some of you all watching haven't even applied. So hello, wake up, go apply right after this call. But I want you to share one sentence that you feel would really kind of capture what that person needs to hear right now, because you were there not that long ago. So what is something you would share with someone who's on the fence right now? Jennifer, go ahead and take it away.
You have been pouring into so many people in your life. You have been giving 110%. You have been loving up and supporting everybody else's dream. This is your time to invest in yourself, to support your dreams and goals. And it's not selfish to want to do that for you and your community. And I think I needed to hear that when I was considering joining, because I thought, well, this money could go towards something else. This money could go towards this. This money could go towards that. And it wasn't until I gave myself permission to invest in myself And I bet on myself because I trusted myself to make that money back, that I actually saw results. So if your heart is pounding right now, or if you feel like, man, this is like a divine alignment for me to watch this, it's for a reason. And so I just encourage you to bet on yourself and to invest in yourself.
Obsessed. Thank you for those words. Somebody needed to hear them right now. Leanne, take it away. What is something that you would like to share to the person that is on the fence right now?
I would like to say that you don't need anybody else's permission but yourself. You are the only one that needs to give permission to yourself. And when you grow, the money follows. So by taking this step and trusting that it's the right process, when you grow as a person inside, the money just follows. I'm a pure testament to that. That's what I want to say.
Thank you. That was really beautiful. I'm obsessed. I'm like, these should all be on t-shirts. Thank you, Leanne. Thank you. Jory, go ahead and take it away. What is something you would share to someone who's on the fence?
Honestly, if you're on the fence, it's probably because you know you've been called for something higher, but you're still trying to get there alone. I know that was my stumbling block when I was debating whether to join a mastermind or not. I had been in other masterminds. I had been with other coaches. I've been in other programs. I took all the courses, read the books, and there was something about, I don't know, seeing someone from Queens. I'm not from Queens, but I spent about 18 years there when I got to New York. Seeing someone look like me doing amazing things and sharing the downloads, like not hoarding it, not gatekeeping. And I was like, all right, she did it. I think I could do it too, but I'm gonna need her help. And so if you're on the fence and you're trying to do this all by yourself, stop. You have resources, you have a community, you have access to systems and strategies. Like, you do not have to do this alone. I think each and every person here has tried to do it alone, and they ended up here. So just save yourself some time and just get here. Easy.
I love that wrap up. You're like, actually, you're going to end up here regardless. So you might as well just do it now. Yes, 100%. Thank you for that. And I love that. I love that idea that they've been called to do something, and they need some support to do that and bring that to life. Heidi, what is something you would love to share with someone who is on the fence right now?
I would say, similar to what Jory just said, like, you're in the right place. Like, you're ready to make this change. And when you think about the program, you've got access to all the tools. It creates structure. You have the H level, so you can be with people who are in the same place as you. You have the coach. And honestly, if you were to meet with a coach outside of Hello 7 once a week for an entire year, you would pay way more than the $15K that you're putting into the Hello, H7 and putting into yourself. So I was scared. I was terrified. I didn't want to give anybody $5,000, but I was ready to give 15 because I knew I was in the right place.
Thank you for that. And I think that you brought up a great point, right? Like, and I think that's one of the things I'm always like, is someone connecting the dots here? Are y'all doing math? Because
Right.
If you are like, I would love to hire a coach. I'd also love to meet with you every day or every other day if I want to. I would also love access to your entire operating system of how you build your business. And I'd love for you to be able to just connect with me with other amazing people. It's like, find me another place that you are only paying $15K for. And I will say the only reason that it is priced that is because it was something new and we wanted to bring this community to life. And we wanted to make sure that we were building and improving it as we went. And all of you came in during this time. And so, you're all secured in this format. But if you're listening in and you're not in the mastermind yet, I need you to understand something very important. And this is not pretend, this is happening. Okay. So on Monday of next week, the price for the mastermind is going up by at least $10,000. You all heard it was $15K, right? It's going up by at least $10,000 because you literally just heard the value return that happens when you join the mastermind. There is so much delivery. And we haven't even talked about the fact that you all get to meet in person 2 times a year, and it is now going to become 3 times a year. And so the fact that you'll have in-person events, unlimited, coaching, like you were talking about, Heidi, like you couldn't find that for that price point. And we know that. Right. So this only works at scale. This only works in the way that we're doing it. And at this point, we're ready to charge what we're worth. We're ready to charge the value that we see, right? The value-based pricing we teach, we're implementing that within our own program. So if you don't want to miss out on that opportunity, this is a time to apply, to at least just find out if this opportunity is the right one for you. Hopefully you've heard a story today that makes sense. And you're like, you know what, this is for me, but this is the only way to get in. And once those spots on the calendar go out, like there's nobody else you can talk to. So at that point, there's nowhere else yet you can join, but you need to do that before Monday, right? Because we're not sending you a link here to go and buy it. You got to meet with a coach, make sure this is a good fit, and then decide if this opportunity is for you. And so let's close it out. Robin, what is something that you would love to share with someone who is on the fence right now? Robin, I think you are on mute. Let me there you are.
Okay. I think the reality is we're all hard workers, but it's like you've been on this hamster wheel. You're working hard, you invest in money and time, and you just don't see the return. But when you invest with the right person, in the Bible, it talks about seed time and harvest. If you plant these seeds now, you will see a harvest, because I planted many of seeds, and it was something about Rachel's program. I met several people in the last 3 years, and they bought her name up. And I didn't forget her name, but I needed to see some evidence. We all need to see evidence.
Yeah.
And we're lifelong learners, and to whom much is given, much is required. We're already working hard. Now just invest in the right person, the right team, and you're going to see the fruits of your labor. And I'm speaking from my heart. Don't be afraid to pivot just because people know you as one thing, and now you feel in your heart, I've been working at the bank all my life, and now I want to open a flower shop. Don't let anybody kill your dream. Because in the Bible, we got many talents, and they all come together in different seasons of life. So please invest in yourself. The time is now. Life is short, and we spend so much time taking care of everybody but ourselves. But once you achieve this for yourself, it's no other feeling like it. When you know that you work hard, now I just need the formula to make it work. So please jump in the community, because it is so much value in it. It's so many wonderful people that they don't gatekeep. They share everything with you. You just have to, I got so many notes from this program. When something that used to work is not working, I got a backup plan. And so that's the thing, you always going to have an arsenal of tools to get to the next level. So meet us in the mastermind.
Thank you for sharing that. Don't let anyone kill your dreams. Again, where's my t-shirt? Like this is what we're talking about. Okay. And I think that's a beautiful way to wrap that up. Thank you all so much for what you've shared today, for sharing very vulnerably your story. I know sometimes, in other communities and in other spaces, or in your friend group, or in the, the family WhatsApp chat, it's just not okay to be sharing all these numbers. In the mastermind, when we're like, how much money and when and how fast would you do? Let me find out more. Like we're having this conversation daily, right? Because we are obsessed about seeing you win and seeing your growth. And the amount of money you're making, it just literally, we celebrate that. We celebrate that like when we get paid. Okay. And so we at Hello 7 have like celebration parties of your wins. Like we have literally a Slack channel only called wins. And it's where we share like, oh, I saw this person do this. Look at this person on social doing that. Look at this person, like shared this win in the mastermind. Like we're celebrating your wins all the time. And we are so, so, so grateful that you all came here to share that with us. So for anyone who's watching, who's like, oh, I love what you do in general, and I would love to work with you. Or B, I want to know more about your story and how I'm feeling the same as you. Please let us know where people can connect with you. So I'll start with Jennifer. Go ahead and let us know, where can people find you and connect with you on the interwebs?
So you guys can find me at www.dreamcreative.co. And you can also find me on TikTok under Dream Creative Brand Bestie. I have a lot of events happening, and I would love to connect with you guys if you need your system sorted.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Jennifer. Leanne, where can people connect with you?
You can find me at leannebordage.com or just my first name, last name, Leanne Bordage on Instagram. And if you're like in construction or any type of hands-on business, I'd love to connect with you. If you're needing some belief in yourself, I'm the belief expert. So connect with me. I'd love it. I'd love to chat with you.
Next time we jump on a call, I would love for your title to say belief expert, by the way. I'm obsessed. Okay, Jory, where can people find you and connect with you?
You can find me on all socials under Jory O'Neill. First name, last name, no spaces. Don't forget the E at the end. If you're on social, my main hub is LinkedIn. Love to be there. And if you're looking to learn more about my story, you can go to joryo'neill.com.
Beautiful. Thank you. Nice and easy to remember. All right, Heidi, let us know, where can the people find you?
You can find me where I find most of my clients, which is on LinkedIn. That's where I'm the busiest. I also have social at Click Virtual Support on Instagram and Facebook.
Beautiful. Thank you, Heidi. And Robin, where can people find you?
You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn under the Student Loan Nurse, and also you can Google me, and I've got tons and tons of interviews and different ways to connect.
Beautiful. Thank you all again so much for joining us. Please give everyone a thank you. If you're in the chat, please say thank you to our incredible panelists for taking up this time. Time is your most valuable resource, and you have shared it with us today. Thank you. It is so appreciated. We will say goodbye now and say goodbye to you now. I'm just going to have some closing remarks to make. And so I want to, aside from obviously thanking our incredible panelists, and I'm obsessed when I hear the stories, right? Because it's like, once you hear from them individually, that you're like, oh, they're not playing games. Like, they're taking action on the things that they're literally learning inside of the program right away. So many of you listening right now have not applied for the Mastermind. How do I know? Because I've looked into you. Okay. I know who you are. Okay. You're watching, and I know you haven't applied. And so I want to make sure that you fill out that application. The QR code is on the screen. If you have your phone, if you're watching from your phone, you have the link right below, and our team has shared the link in the chat as well. So the one thing that I want to make sure is clear is, when you fill out your application, you are going to end with the application. If you're a good fit and a good match for the program, it will send you to a place where you can actually book a call directly with one of our coaches. Book a time slot that works for you, because there are only the ones you see on the calendar are the only ones we have available. And once they're out, we don't have anyone else to speak to you. And so we want to make sure that if you are in, and this is an opportunity that you're excited to dive into, if this is the place that you want to be and be ready to share that after story, to be that success story, to be the person that we're also now featuring because you've had an incredible win, or you just joined 10 months ago, or you just joined 5 months ago, and this is the win you're having, I want you to make that decision right now to apply for the Mastermind, because there is no strings attached. You get to have a conversation. If it's not a good fit, it's not a good fit, right? If it's not good for either of us, let's just not make it happen. But if it is, I don't want you to miss out on this opportunity, because the price will go up. So if you're like, next year, I'm ready to join you next year, girl, cool, but you're going to be paying more. So I don't want that for you. So this is the time to apply. Make sure you fill out that application. We'll connect with you online once you do that, and you'll get emails from us reminding you when to come in for your call with your coach. Okay. Thank you all so much for watching today and for being a part of this live. Thank you for spending your time here with us. And if you have any questions at all about the Mastermind, please head over to hello7.co/mastermind, where you can find every single detail there about the program, what it includes, what is about, and more wins are on the page. Okay. As a reminder, you heard it today. There's unlimited coaching calls. There is an opportunity for you to get together with your squad, with people that are making the same amount of revenue as you, that have the same kind of goals, right? So you are laser focused in. It's not one giant community where everyone's just talking to everybody. You can do that. And you have your private squad that's really going to get you, because you know that the person that is starting their business has a different problem than Leanne did, right? As coming in at 500K. And so we put you together with the right kind of people that are going to be your cheering squad. Okay. These are the people that are there for you all of the time. We have, currently we have over 200 people in the Mastermind. We're aiming to have like 250 by the end of the year, so that we can close the year at that level. And then once we change the price on Monday, everyone who's coming into next year is going to come in at the new pricing point for the Mastermind. So there's only so many spots left before we hit that marker that we have for this year. And we're so excited. There is variety of not just diversity of the entrepreneur, but diversity of the actual business. So if you're like, well, I have a brick and mortar, we got plenty of brick and mortar. Well, I have a product-based business. We have subscription box businesses, real retail businesses that are in this mastermind. If you're like, well, I am a service provider and I'm not 100% sure because I'm so locally based, you just talk to some people that have actually local businesses, right? Like Leanne works in construction, they paint houses, they work with houses in that area. And so I want to make sure you know what you think you're the only one doing is not the only one in the mastermind. In other masterminds, yes, you might have been the only of something. I might have been the only Latina, right? Like it doesn't matter. Whatever you have always felt like you're the only of, you're not going to have that issue inside of the mastermind. And when you come in and you book that call with your coach, every question you have can be answered, right? If you have a question about the format of something, how the calls happen, where are the live events, everything is shared on the page and by your coach when you're getting on that call. All right. We meet 3 times a year for our Hello 7 Mastermind retreat. And that happens in Brooklyn, New York, all next year. And you'll have one in the spring, in the summer, and in the fall. You can attend all of them. You can attend 2 of them. It's completely up to you, but your entrance is completely covered by your membership in the mastermind. And listen, those events are a hit. Okay. If you want to see a video of that, we have one on the hello7.co/mastermind page as well for you to watch. Thank you all so much for spending your time here today. Again, my name is Mariangelica Ferrero, creative director here at Hello 7. Past-time and long-time client, and I am so excited to welcome you inside of the mastermind. Take care, everyone. See you soon. Bye-bye.